doing tonight? Yeah.
Good.
Awesome, awesome.
All right, brother
Good.
Zane. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm gonna call. I gotta call the other kids that just got off and to tell them to get back on.
All right, cool.
All right, so you go ahead.
I could share my screen from here.
I gotta send you the. You are now the. Wait a minute, wrong one. You are now the host in 1 sec. Oh, here come the Mars kids. They coming back. Oh, I ain't gotta go get them. Good. And you are now the host. Make you the host. There it is.
Nicely, thank you, thank
You
you.
welcome.
All right, so greetings and well, I guess it's the first time I'm seeing everyone here for the year. So happy New Year to everyone. All the best for the new year. Brother Aswad, how are you, sir?
Yeah, fine. Happy
Good.
to see you.
So happy to see you too, man. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Lovely, lovely. Same to you and to your family.
Yeah, I'm not seeing you, but I'm learning so much from you.
I'm humbled by that, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Very humbled by that. All right, so let's just jump into this then. All right, we are 9 minutes into it. So let me get this up. Can take off my Facebook here now. All right, so the topic that we are on here tonight is the topic. Let me just pull this out here. All right, here we go. All right, so the topic that we are on here tonight is integrity. Yeah. All right, so before we actually get started, I just want to say, Father, we thank you for the opportunity to congregate, to actually congregate and to discuss you, which is also ourselves as sons of who you are and what you are, and everything that we're speaking about here is actually all the principles and laws of all of creation. And we thank you that we have been given the opportunity to be able to speak, not only to speak, but to sit down and think upon you, and think upon aspects of you, and learn more about who we are as sons, as your sons, and as the visible representation of who you are. Amen. Amen. All right. So tonight we're speaking about integrity. Now, before we get started, what I would very much like to do is to actually hear from everyone one at a time. What in particular, when you hear the word integrity, what does that mean to you? What comes to mind when you hear integrity? All right, feel free to unmute.
When I hear about the word integrity, usually mean being oneself or just being honest with someone. That's when I think of integrity.
Nice. Lovely. Thank you for that. Candice will. Yeah. So Lego pieces. Go ahead.
For me, integrity means you can actually do anything. Like you can like finish a puzzle piece.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that contribution also. Mr. Asford, you want to go? Oh.
Okay, so I think what I have learned for some time now is integrity means integrated. It's like you are one with yourself, with your action, with your thoughts, with everything. You are one, integrated.
Awesome. That's an awesome response there, sir. Awesome. All right. Morris kids. When you hear the word integrity, what does that mean to you? Any contribution will be appreciated. Morris Kids, you might have to unmute so that we can hear you. What does integrity mean to you?
Do you know? Say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, so Morris Kids here on Galaxy A11 too?
That might be somebody else. Who's Galaxy A11? Is that Tristan?
No, it's me.
Who's that?
Me? Who's me?
Who is me? Lionel?
Yes.
Oh, you keep switching your name on me. Okay.
All right. But Morris Kids, calling Morris Kids. Morris Kids to the front office.
It's the front office. Alea, Anaya, and Isaiah. Are y'all there? Can you unmute, please? You're being talked to.
Good night. Good night to you all. So the question is, when we hear integrity, what does the word integrity mean to you?
Hello.
Wow, the internet connection there is.
Oh yeah, they're in North Carolina, so sometimes they be messed up. All right, y'all. Fix the internet, okay?
Restart your router a little bit or something there, right? Mr. Bunny Boy, what does integrity mean to you, sir? Say again, Morris Kids. Wow. Okay. You'll definitely need to restart your router or restart your device there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I noticed in the chat they're saying that, can you guys hear us? And I noticed that in the chat.
Okay.
All right, if Mars Kids, can you text what you said you have the answer to the question? Because you kind of breaking up. So text it in the text box. Chat box.
All right. Back to Bunny Boy. Mr. Bunny Boy. What is integrity, sir? That's Master Leonidas. That's you, sir.
Yeah, I know, but my batch was sticking. So integrity to me means being honest and basically just the truth.
Being honest and speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Lionel. Integrity. What does integrity mean to you, sir?
It means a lot.
It means. Say again.
It means a lot to me.
Huh?
Right. So, what would you can you define what a lot is here in this case, sir?
It's not just a word to me. It's something that needs to be a meaning to me into my life.
All right. And ID key.
That's Lionel. I don't know. That's what they mean.
Ah, okay. We have some interesting nicknames here, boy. Interesting aliases. All right, and we just have Mr. Tristan joining us. Mr. Tristan, the question is right now, this first question on the desk is, what does integrity mean to you?
I don't know.
You don't? Never heard of it before?
I've heard of it, but I don't know it.
Okay, all right. So the reason why I'm actually asking everyone here what integrity means to you.
Oh, the Mars Kids put in the chat what they mean to. They chatted it.
All right, let's see what they say. What agreement means to you. Integrity means to be honest no matter what. All right, lovely. Thank you for that response. Appreciate that. All right, so the reason why I'm actually asking everyone here what integrity means to you is because each and every one of us actually come up. We are from some of us from different countries, from different communities, different cultures. And so you may have heard the word integrity, and where you are, the people that you may be around may have actually given integrity a meaning that is what you all may understand here in particular. And so that could mean that everybody can actually have different classes, or integrity can mean something different to everyone. So I'm simply asking everyone what integrity means to you, so that we can actually have an idea as to what that means to you. And then when we actually here tonight, what we're going to do, we're actually going to be looking at this from the perspective of spirituality. And you are spirit beings, as you were taught before. And when it comes to spirituality, the laws of spirituality, or the principles, or rather the laws, the spiritual laws, or you can call them the spiritual laws of, or the laws of physics of the spirit, are actually one definition. And so tonight, what we are attempting to do is to bring you into understanding what that one definition is. And once you understand one definition, then you can understand integrity in any context. Does that make sense? All right, so no matter where you find yourself, you know what integrity is. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is actually start with what integrity is by definition. All right, now integrity here is defined as the following. It's defined as the quality or state of being complete or undivided. Now notice it says complete or undivided. Very important. The same thing, that same being complete and undivided, is also, that state of being complete and undivided is also explained as being incapable of corruption. Right? Therefore, if someone is undivided, what are they?
They are whole.
They are whole. They are one whole, right? So if you're not undivided, they are one. Right? One is undivided. More than one will be divided. So to be whole means to be incapable of corruption. And another definition that is included here is actually very honest. Now, please, very honest here, because most of you have actually known that you may have, from the schools that you went to, or your community, wherever you go, you may have encountered someone who actually constantly, or people who may not always tell the truth. And they might just say, well, this part of the truth here, and they exercised the liberty to be a little creative with the rest of the narrative. Right? And that in itself is actually called a half-truth. And so if being one whole is being incapable of corruption, what is a half-truth? Is a half-truth corruption or incorruption? So listen to the question again. Go ahead.
Corruption.
Corruption.
Yeah, that would be corruption.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice. So if you're undivided, in this case, which is where your half-truth is, your half-truth is half is actually truth, and the other side was a nice creative narrative, then is the truth, and the truth in this case is corrupted. Yes? Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, which means that if you're not being 100% honest, are you corrupted or are you incorrupted? So send the question again. If you are not 100% honest, are you corrupted or are you incorrupted?
Corrupted.
You would be corrupted.
You are corrupted. Right? That's because what you're saying is not pure. It is actually corrupted. Now, however you take that, however you desire to express that, however you choose to express the part that is not true, whether it's creative or you just added in a little detail, the fact is it is corrupted, right? Which is equivalent to a fruit that is rotting. The proportion of the fruit that is okay is the part that actually you can say is the truth. And the part of the fruit that is rotting is the part of the corruption. Now, the reason why we actually speaking about this here is because sometimes it might feel okay to do that because you may believe that what is coming out of your mouth is actually not part of you. But really and truly, what is coming out of your mouth, it is really an expression of you. Yeah? You see how the sun shines? You are the sun in this case, and the light from the sun is an expression of the sun. In the same way, what is coming out of your mouth is the same thing as the light of the sun. So what is coming out of your mouth is not separate from you. It is an expression of who you are. Now, this is very important. Because do you know that in the Bible, it actually says that God is perfect. And somebody who is perfect, are they corrupted or are they incorrupted?
Incorrupted.
Incorrupted.
Right? Or uncorrupted. Incorruptible, uncorruptible. Right? So, if they're uncorrupted, therefore they are one. Yeah? It also means, just as the Bible says that all God's works are perfect. Does that mean, so that this means everything that you've seen in this picture here, are all the works of God's hands. Did he create it corrupted or uncorrupted?
Uncorrupted.
Uncorrupted.
Uncorrupted. Now, this means that everything that you're seeing here, the trees, the mountain, the waters, the rocks down here, the sky, all of this is actually one. And you know how we know it is one? Does the water ever stop being water? Does the water ever begin to behave like the sky? Does the sky, since you were born, have you ever seen the sky stop being the sky? Have you ever seen a mountain behave like a raccoon? Have you ever seen a mountain behave like a puppy? Exactly.
No.
That's because the mountain has one nature. The water has one nature. Have you ever seen the water stand up like a mountain? You can't see that, right? Because the water has one nature. Which means everything that you're seeing here actually has one nature, and therefore it is a demonstration of an expression of who God is, which means that God is integrity. He is one, and he does not change his nature. Everything that comes out of God demonstrates the fact that he does not change his nature. The rain falls down. Has anybody seen the rain fall up? Never see that, right? You can't. some of you here probably not even think about whether rain could fall up. You know why? Because you took it for granted that God actually put the rain to fall down, and therefore it does not change its nature. It continues to fall down, and it will continue to fall down forever because it is one nature. Now, for something to now function, like the water that you're seeing here, the water, if the water stands up like a mountain in front of you by itself, not because probably God gave it an instruction to go back, just the water naturally by itself just decided it want to stand up like a mountain. That would mean that the water has two natures, and the water is now functioning like water, and then when it chooses, it want to behave like a mountain. In that case, would the water be corrupted or uncorrupted?
That would be corrupted. It's not
It would-
moving in its function.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love how you put that. It is not functioning in the way that it was intended to function. Right? So you notice in the Bible, in the Psalms in particular, you were told that the heavens declare the glory of the Lord. The heavens declares the integrity of the Lord. The earth declares the glory of the Lord also. The earth declares the integrity of the Lord. So when you watch these things, you know for certain the person who made this, if this is an expression of him, this person, you can trust this person. Because nothing here just takes the opportunity. The rain doesn't take the opportunity to fall up when it's in a bad mood. Or the water doesn't take the opportunity to function like a mountain tomorrow. Or the sun didn't come out of the sky and just decide today, I want to be here, I want to be a planet, and he stopped shining. Which brings me to one more important point. If the sun, for example, stops shining tomorrow, because it was created to shine, right? Which means as long as it's shining, how many of us ever see the sun stop shining? You've never seen that, right? It might be behind clouds, like clouds may be in front of it, but it doesn't stop shining. If it stops shining, what will happen to Earth?
It'll die without light.
Exactly. Exactly. Life form will begin to die. That making sense to everybody? Which means, in this case, everything has a function. And if it's not functioning, then you could be affecting other entities that are actually present to benefit from your function. Making sense? Nice. Now, when God created man, man was created perfect, which means man had one nature. And if man was created in the image and likeness of God, was man corrupted or uncorrupted?
Uncorrupted.
Uncorrupted, which means if the man is speaking and God is integrity, would the man, if the man is actually speaking, it's not somebody else coming in here. Yeah, which means that when the man is actually speaking, would he ever lie? No, because he's one. Yeah, he's uncorrupted. He's creating the image and likeness of God, and just like the rain always falls down and the sun is always shining, he is integrity. Now that is actually seen in the Bible and represented actually in the Bible when it says the Lord God is a sun and shield, which means if you're creating the image and likeness of God as sons of God, you also are son, which means you're created for integrity. Now, everything that you're seeing demonstrates one nature. The sky, the mountains, the animals. Have you ever seen a tiger behave like a mouse? You can't see that, right? Have you ever seen a giraffe roar like a tiger? But the day you see a giraffe roar like a tiger, you will be afraid. And why would you be afraid? Because the animal is actually showing corruption, and therefore, so there's something very important that comes from not being corrupted. It means that once you're not corrupted, you can be trusted. I want to say that again. Integrity means no corruption. And therefore, if you have one nature and demonstrate one nature all the time, then if the giraffe in particular is a very peaceable animal, you know, a nice animal that is actually full of peace, and you approach the giraffe, if the giraffe is a gentle animal and you approach the giraffe, what do you expect when you approach the giraffe?
It's probably not going to hurt you.
Exactly. You expect that the animal is going to be gentle because the animal is demonstrating its nature. The animal is demonstrating its integrity. Yeah? So the animal is actually demonstrating its one nature, and therefore the animal is demonstrating its integrity. If you approach the giraffe expecting the giraffe to be functioning with very gently, and the giraffe just turns around and roars at you and take its hoof and scratch you like a lion, how would you feel?
Pain.
Pain. And does that make you feel that you can trust the animal now?
No, you're
No.
probably gonna be like, what's going on?
What's going on? You can't trust the animal. And if the animal does that, the animal will be demonstrating a lack of integrity. Yeah? The same thing that you see with the stars, the sun, the stars. Do you see a star run across the sky as though it has legs? No, you don't see that because the star is designed to shine. Right? So the sun, the stars, they're shining and they continue to shine. Have you ever woke up at night, walk outside and seen no star shining? Like the stars decided to shut off. Like they decide, I want to rest. I want to take a rest this afternoon from being who I am, and just decided they want it to be darkness. Have you ever seen that? Which means every time that you watch outside there, the stars are demonstrating its integrity. And if God made it, it's demonstrating God's integrity. He continues to be no matter what. All right? So, what happened in the garden? We've all heard about the Garden of Eden. In the context of integrity, based on what I explained there, what do you think happened in the garden? Take your time. Anybody?
Yeah, I think what I will try. No, I will say this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Not trying. what it means that man's nature changed. Our nature. Yeah.
Awesome. Which means if the man actually changed, he was made to be light and he began to behave in darkness. Man actually now functions as though he has two natures and you cannot trust him. That's the equivalent to approaching a giraffe that you're expecting peace from, and the giraffe just turns around and begins to behave like a lion. And he roars at you and he starts to run you down and hit you. That will mean that now this being does not have integrity. Is this making sense? So a lack of integrity is when you actually begin to behave like you have two natures. You're given this nature, and then you choose to behave like this nature. It's also the same thing as though a lion just begins to behave like a puppy. If you see a lion, a strong, powerful lion, stand up in the plain and the wind blowing on its hair, and the lion just begin to behave like a puppy and run around the place like a puppy, would you be confused?
Yeah, I would be confused.
Very confused.
Exactly. You are going to be confused. That's because we actually understand something by the nature that it demonstrates. And if it demonstrates more than one nature, then it's very confusing to us, because it's actually functioning in opposites when it should not be doing that. So man's problem in the garden was man was created to actually function from living from the integrity of what God breathed into him. And instead, man decided to use his physical senses and compare himself to something external of himself and begin to behave like that thing. Does that make sense? Yeah? Nice. So here's something that you may not have known. You may have been taught that Satan is actually an evil creature and an evil being. Do you know that anything that does not function according to its nature in the way that God intended it to function in the Bible is actually called a Satan? Do you know that anything that does not function according to its nature? Is that making sense? You may not have known that before, but in the scriptures, in the context of the scriptures, anything that actually functions contrary to how God created it to function is actually called a Satan, which means if the lion begin to behave, now a Satan here is not an evil creature like we had been taught, this being that's running around doing evil stuff. A Satan in the scripture is something that's not functioning in the way that it's supposed to function. So for example, if you see the giraffe behaving like a lion, that's not functioning in the way that God intended it to function, that would be called a Satan. Right? It's not if the lion begins to run around like a mouse and starts to squeak like a mouse and trying to get into a little hole and want cheese, then the lion is behaving like the lion is actually a Satan, meaning that it is dysfunctional. It is not functioning in the intended course. Now, this is very important for us to know because we're speaking about integrity, which means you are the sons of God, yes? Each and every one of you are sons and daughters of God. Which means, is God truth? Is God honest? Therefore, you can see that God is integrity because he does not change from who he is and what he is. Therefore, if you begin to lie, what does that make you according to scripture? What behavior does that belong to?
Satan.
Satan.
A Satan. Right? Which means from the time you begin to lie, you are now demonstrating Satan, meaning that you are now functioning corrupted because your breath that contains your nature, your spirit, does not have that in it. It has truth. It has one nature, and the nature is to be God. So if you start to lie, you start to steal, you start to be deceptive, meaning you're living by tricks. Are you functioning as God or are you functioning as a Satan?
Satan.
A Satan.
A Satan. Do we want to function like Satans?
No.
No.
No, we don't want to function like Satans. Right? Right? You notice the rose here? The rose was created to be a nice red rose. You approach the red rose with the tree with the red rose and you see a black rose. Would that not concern you?
That's concerning, especially if there's all the spiders there.
Yes.
Exactly. So then the rose here is actually functioning as a Satan, which means its nature is corrupted. If the tree is red roses and this one here, something is wrong. Which means if you are lying, does anybody actually trust a Satan? Yes or no?
No.
No. Why wouldn't you trust a Satan?
It can get a Satan can get you in trouble.
Exactly. Because the Satan does not actually function in the way it's supposed to function. And if you're lying, you're stealing, you're in trickery, trying to trick others, then what is happening is now no one can trust you because no one understands your nature. So if people around you do not trust you, what does that mean?
They don't understand the nature that you're functioning in.
Exactly. They don't know what to expect from you because you are demonstrating one-on-one nature. You are being a Satan. Yeah? Is that making sense? All right. So, well, here we have a Satan is something. So if you're created to be integrity, one nature, a Satan is a lack of integrity because it is functioning outside of its one nature. Right now, Jesus, when men were corrupted on the earth, Jesus nailed that corrupted nature back to the cross. Remember when man began to dress himself up like a tree, putting on leaves? He became a Satan. He was comparing himself to a tree, dressed himself up like leaves and began to hide among trees. And that's the thing about people who actually lie. They dress themselves up with their lie and then they begin to hide and find themselves among those who lie too. They find a tribe. And when they find a tribe, they continue demonstrating being a Satan, which means that entire tribe is confusing. You cannot trust them because it does not demonstrate one nature. Just like the giraffe, if the giraffe didn't demonstrate the nature of a lion, then something is wrong. You cannot trust it because you don't know what to expect from it. Yeah? So Jesus nailed that to the cross, and now Jesus is pure, uncorrupted breath of life back into you again, which means that you are now sons of God. Integrity. Right? And living by the nature of integrity, which means no lies, no deception, no trickery, but always functioning from one nature makes you incorruptible or uncorrupted. So just as you see in all of creation, if the sun doesn't stop shining, then you actually have one nature, and integrity is your nature and it continues to be your nature. If you decide to stop doing that, then you're being a Satan. One more time. Do you want to be a Satan? No, you don't want to be a Satan. Right? Which
Nope.
Mr. Asper, you're saying something?
There's a big no.
That's a bit exactly. Right? So if you actually function like a Satan, so let's unpack that a little bit. If you're functioning like a Satan, can you have the fruit of God in your life?
No.
No, because the fruit of God, like life and health and healing, comes from the nature of God. And if you're functioning from two natures, then you cannot be functioning in one nature and expecting the experience of the other. That is the same thing as actually as an apple tree trying to bear grapes. An apple tree trying to bear pears. It has one nature. So if you want to live in life and health and healing, not get sick and not reap evil, which nature should you stick to and not deviate from ever?
Life, not
Uh,
the Satan.
Exactly. You want to actually demonstrate that from God and not from Satan. Because if you function like a Satan, what are you going to reap?
Well, what the Satan happens to come with, which is the opposite.
Exactly. So if you're not functioning like God, you function like a Satan. When you lie, you steal, you went into trickery, all of these things you're demonstrating a second nature, and that nature bears the fruit of death, sickness, destruction, calamities, accidents, all types of things that are not beneficial to you. So now the choice is here tonight. Integrity or no integrity?
Integrity.
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 Integrity. Yep, Bunny boy. Integrity or no integrity, sir?
Integrity.
Nice. Morris kids, integrity or no integrity? Okay, write that in the chat for me because I know your internet here. Lionel, integrity or no integrity, sir? Integrity. Calling on Lionel, integrity or no integrity? Is Lionel his name, right? Am I calling the right name? Galaxy A11. Integrity or no integrity, sir? All right. Nobody there. Yeah, and a shout out to our holy sister Stephanie Johnson Rice. Wasn't able to actually stop while she came in. Blessings to you. Much love. All right. So let's ask another one more question before we go to our think tanks. If you're actually functioning from a Satan and bad things are happening, who's to blame?
Obviously not the people, it's me.
Exactly. Because if it's happening, then you need to fix the light that you're shining. Plain and simple. So if you know you've functioning lack of integrity, tonight you've come into understanding concerning this, and I hope that actually give you some clarity as to why you may be experiencing certain things and how to correct it. Repentance here in this case is simply stopping, turn around, one nature, leave the two natures alone. Yeah? Nice. So, Holy Sister Odelia, I know how to actually put everybody in the think tanks here. Calling Holy Sister Odelia.
I don't see her.
All right, well, I guess one more call for Holy Sister Odelia. All right, so let's start let's start with Mr. Legobi. Mr. Legobi, so what have you learned here tonight?
Corruption.
And go ahead.
Like if a tiger stopped functioning as a tiger, but it functions as a dog,
Right.
or a mouse function as a lion,
Right.
or a giraffe barking like a dog. That's
Yes,
what
sir.
I learned about corruption.
Right. And how do you now apply that to you? What does that mean to you?
That's not like from God, that's from Satan.
Right. So you have one nature and you want to stick with that, yeah?
Yes.
Nice. Miss Candy Swill?
All right, so learning from integrity, which I did know about the definition of integrity being oneself and just being honest. And then when you're breaking it down, where when you're saying about one nature,
Right.
it's reflecting back to being oneself. So if let's say a fox it's being a fox, it's being in its full nature that God made it to function properly. But if it's not doing its function, it's doing the opposite of integrity, more like Satan.
Right.
So it's more like it's opening a little bit of more definition about integrity, which I actually very informational.
Nice. Thank you very much for sharing that. Right.
Mhm.
There's one thing in particular I'd like to add to what you're saying, is that whatever nature God gives something,
Mhm.
when it functions from its nature, it generates life self-existently, keeping it healthy and
Mhm.
strong. If it changes in nature, it no longer living from its breath, and therefore there's an absence of the production of life, which equals sickness and death.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so we must. It's very interesting. It's something for everyone to think about, especially if you've been playing with a lack of integrity. It's something for everybody to think about.
Mm.
All right, but thank you for sharing that, Candice.
No problem.
All right, Morris kids, we kindly ask that you write your takeaways in the chat for us, please. Mr. Asford, you want to go next?
Yeah, good. Nice. All right. I think what you really put across is so deep and so good to consume. And I think you said that, and what I've learned is that integrity means complete, undivided.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, undivided, and that what comes out of you is an expression of you.
Yes, sir.
You gave out the example of the sun. The sun shines, and that's the expression of the sun, and that is very, 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 I mean, on the point. And also, you said that if we don't demonstrate one nature, like the original nature or who we have been made to be all the time, then we cannot be trusted.
Yes, sir.
We cannot be trusted.
That's why in the Bible, all through the Bible, there is a constant repetition of God's trustworthiness. He wears it like a badge because he's one nature. You can trust him, whether it's 10,000 BC, 1 BC, or 2021 after Christ. The nature doesn't change. It's trustworthy.
And I think that is the thing we need so much this time, because it's really missing now. And I mean, making me think a lot. How are we going to get this back into our community now?
Wow, that's, you see, brother, that right there is my heart. You're just talking there, holy brother. Because our society has gotten to the point where this is no longer whatever remnants that was there, it seems like it's now erased. Like somebody take an eraser and just rub off integrity from the page. And the youths are actually now coming up with that, and it's confusing them, and it's leading to a lot of mental illnesses. A lot of according to King Solomon and the scriptures, things like a lot of mental illnesses that are not really medical problems, like physical problems, is actually as a result of not holding one nature. You're playing with different reference points. So you're running around with different reference points, and each reference point is a separate voice. So you see things like bipolar and things like that, they refer to it as a disorder, but it's really the disorder of actually not holding one nature. Yeah, they're not living from the truth, And what, especially when it comes to bipolar, and this might be a little bit heavy for the children here, but according to the bipolar, what you're doing with bipolar is that you're not living from your heart. You're living from something else. And the bipolar tends to be that thing in particular. You get weary from not living from your heart. And then you have bursts of what you truly think and feel. And then you go back trying to live like a chihuahua when you're actually designed to express the lion all the time. Yeah. All of that, Holy Brother, the Bible has the answer. You know? It's just not understood. It's just not understood.
It's good. But you know, we got into a time that people think of relativism. That is the truth. One thing, the truth is in relation to their culture or their society.
Yes.
And that is really, really disturbing a lot.
Yes, sir. I fully agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think you help us on how to arrest those things, especially when we find ourselves in situations like that.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, I think the last point I want to make is very important, is that anything that function contrary to its function is called a Satan, and that is
yes, sir.
and I'm so happy that you. So thank you.
That's all right, man. That's all right. I'm humble too. Very humble too. And thank you for your contribution. Much appreciated.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Leonidas, Bonnie boy. What have you learned, sir?
So what I learned today is basically about corruption and correction. So like if I see a shrine, for example, if I see a shrine and it has an apple tree, there are some nice, good, red, juicy apples on it, and right beside it there is a tree, except it's half of a tree, and it's a cut tree down the middle, and it's just black and just lying there with no leaves or anything like that, or just branches and wood.
That's corruption, right?
Yeah.
Nice. And what have you learned there with regards to what that means to you and how you should live?
What it actually means for me is it's like, how do I put this?
Take your time.
So for me that's like light and tenderness fruit. This tree, the nice good parent apple tree, that is this fruit, and the half dead and half that dark tree, like that's lies. Like it's not full, and it just it just sit on.
Right. And now, can anybody trust that tree?
What you say?
Can anybody now trust the tree?
No.
And why not?
Because the tree function and purpose is to bear fruit, and it's not bearing fruit.
Awesome. Lovely. Thank you very much, sir. All right, Mr. Galaxy 11.
That's Lionel.
I just want to make sure I had the right name, yes? Mr. Lionel.
Lionel, he's talking to you. Oh my goodness, go to the next one.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So my question here is tonight, based on what we covered here tonight, what have you learned? And what does that mean to you for your personal life?
I couldn't really get anything left today because I was taking out the trash.
All right. Well, then you will. What I actually kind of asked you to do is, after that you go over the session, and I would very much like if you can actually
I'll rewatch it.
yeah. I would like that if it's possible, Holy Sister Odelia,
Yes.
if he can actually send me what he has learned from it and how it applies to his personal life.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Yes, we both gonna watch it together.
All right. All right. Lastly, well, Holy Sister Odelia, since you were not in this seat, I took the opportunity to just ask everybody what they learned and how it applies to their personal life. If you want to still do the think tank, we can go ahead.
You're still going in the think tank? I mean, we still. Oh, it's 8 o'clock now. No, you did good.
All right.
No, you did good. Yeah, you did good. I'm glad you did because I had company here too. I had to let my company go too.
Okay. The last person here is Miss Stephanie Johnson Rice. Would you like to mention anything, Holy Sister?
I think she said in the chat she couldn't talk. She was listening.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, she said she can't say anything right now. She's just listening to everything.
All right. So blessings and much love to you, Holy Sister. So on that note, I think yes, now we're waiting on Morris Kids to actually put in their contribution. Just let me
see they in
the chat.
In the chat, they said, "Well, they put integrity."
All right. So they actually also have to answer the question what they learned and also how it applies to them. So if they can also get that sent to me, it'll be nice also.
Okay, y'all hear that, Mars children? I'm not always there in North Carolina. I'm like, y'all hear that? I'm gonna have to call your mom. I'm like, y'all need to put in the text box or send me something about what y'all learned today. Okay?
All right.
About
So
integrity.
The questions to answer today is what did you learn about integrity, as well as how does that apply to your personal life now?
That's good.
All right. So on that note, Holy Sister, I am passing this session back to you.
All right. Y'all excuse me. I had company. I had to let them go. So I'm sorry.
That's all right, man.
That's all right. Class went all fine.
Okay. So I know I'm gonna be listening to this again because I was already taking notes. I'm gonna be taking some more notes. Okay. Yeah. So y'all stay teachable, and that's why I said take notes. Because your notes, you can read back what you got. You are now the host. Okay, I'm the host. Okay. Thank you, Zane.
You are the host.
So tomorrow you'll be back tomorrow, right?
Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow you'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, so we'll be back. So maybe it'll be more settled tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll be looking at this here video tonight to see what I missed.
Tomorrow, is it okay if we actually take a more practical approach where we can actually have everyone get a little more involved with regards to integrating integrity or falling back into integrity in their lives? So more of a discussion, is that okay?
Yeah. What y'all say? You agree?
I guess, yeah.
I guess they don't know what practical means. I don't know. Them men don't know what practical means.
Yeah. Basically, just with regards to where you are, what you're doing, where you are right now, and what you're actually involved in, how to actually, if you're not functioning integrity, what it means to function integrity in your personal space and in your personal life. So it doesn't stop as theory. We actually apply it to what you're doing and where you are and how you're doing it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and even how everybody interacting with their parents.
Awesome. Yeah. Number one.
Nice. So no presentation tomorrow, more discussion, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Lovely.
Yeah, it's time to release. That's the word the Lord gave me, release. Release is when you understand what you're supposed to be doing. Now you got to apply this truth and be the sons of God that's being revealed to manifest in the earth, heaven and earth.
Yes,
okay.
Mom. Yes, Mom.
All right, so that's all I got. Okay.
All right.
I ain't gonna hold y'all anymore. So thank y'all for being here. I hope you got something out of this. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Awesome.
All
See you all
right.
tomorrow night. Blessings and much love.
Mhm.
That's right. Mwah.
All right.
Yeah.
See y'all. Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.